Year 2021, I arrived here in Canada as an international student. I'm the only child in the family.
How's your mom now? Has she retired?
Oh yes, she is. Actually, nadala ko na po yung nanay ko dito. Even hindi ko naranasan nung bata pa ako na maipasyal ng nanay ko sa mga arcades, even aquarium. Nung nakita ko yung nanay ko na nag-enjoy siya at na-amaze siya sa mga nakita niya na di din niya na naranasan. Doon pa lang. Worth it na yung pagpunta ko dito ng Canada.
So, ikaw ang nagdala sa kanya sa mga aquarium. Yes. Ikaw ang nagdala sa kanya.
Sorry, Miss Cherry.
No.
Kasi, dapat ako yung idadala, di ba?
That deep level of understanding kung dun sa sacrifices din niya.
Sobra. Currently, I'm working as a customs documentation specialist. Actually, gusto ko talaga i-pursue ang pagiging lawyer.
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Welcome to our podcast. The podcast where we try, kung posible lang, na interviewin lahat ng Filipino ethnicities na nakatira ngayon dito sa Canada. But today, we caught a kababayan bago siya umalis papunta ng Yukon. So, nandito muna tayo sa ating Toronto studio and we're here to talk to Rico Rodriguez. Hi, Rico.
Hello po, Miss Cherry. Good afternoon po.
Salamat sa pagsingit sa amin kahit na bukas na ang iyong flight for Yukon.
No, it's my pleasure po to have in your studio.
Yeah, so first of all, pakilala ka muna natin sa ating audience. What do you do now? Share with us what you currently do and where are you at right now?
Currently, I'm working as a customs documentation specialist at Reliable Logistics. So basically, we're doing or clearing shipments from the border. So we compute taxes, duties and taxes, and we assist clients or the importers in Canada, as well as exporters as well. So
very relevant ang tariff sa trabaho mo?
Yes, opo.
Oh my goodness. Ano nang epekto?
Mahirap po dahil yung iba is humihina yung exports kasi because of the trade war from US and Canada. But we're still, helping the clients na kung paano nila mapapagaan or paano yung diskarte para at least ma-elevate yung duties and taxes.
So this is a Canadian-owned private brokerage firm?
Yes po.
Okay. And have you been in this line for a long time? I know that you were also a seafarer, diba?
Yes po. In the Philippines, I've been a licensed customs broker as well. Likewise, here in Canada po, naging license, I've passed the licensure professional customs brokers dito po sa CBSA sa Canada. So, it's been for 2 years already. I've been in the field in Canada and almost 3 years as well in the Philippines. So, sa Philippines po, I've been part of the Bureau of Customs. So, yeah.
Pag-uusapan natin yan. That portion of your life. So ngayon, you did your licensing, no? You were able to, when you went to Canada?
Year 2021, August, I arrived here in Canada as an international student.
Okay.
And I studied international transportation and customs, which is basically a combination of my 2 degrees back home, which is the Marine Transportation and Customs Administration. So, yeah, I did my master's degree as well back in the Philippines in Bicol University as master's degree in public administration. Because before I was thinking na kala ko sa Pilipinas na lang ako and I was trying to build my career growth back home. In God's willing, nabago po because of na-approve po yung visa ko going to Canada. So,
paano pumasok yung thought ng Canada while you were in the Philippines?
Kasi po I'm the only child in the family. And it's just unfortunately we are a broken family. And me and my mom, kami na lang po talaga. So I was thinking na sabi ko, if I'm gonna be in Canada, free ang healthcare ako. Kasi sabi ko, para sa nanay ko, if madadala ko siya dito, di na ako mamomblema. Where in fact, if I'll be in the Philippines, ay ang healthcare sa atin mahirap. And ayaw ko dumating sa sitwasyon na wala akong yung parang pagamutin ang nanay ko. And dahil walang pera, kapos, di ba? So, sabi
despite your masteral degree, despite working for a government agency, which is the Bureau of Customs.
Hindi po yun magiging sapat. So, sabi ko, I was thinking a long-term plan for me and my mom. So, kaya po sabi ko, and likewise din po, kasi sa Philippines, even if you're in the government, hindi pa rin talaga sapat to build a family and, to suffice that, yung sahod and stuff. So, sabi ko, I'm still young. Why should I try to go to Canada and, give and, challenge myself.
So wala kang kamag-anak dito, hindi naman yun yung parang mga naging dahilan, no?
Opo.
Ang naging dahilan talaga, what pushed you is the future for you and your mother.
Opo.
Tell us about your life in the Philippines. How was it like? You said you were an only child.
Opo.
Where did you spend your childhood? What kind of an environment was it?
Galing po ako sa Legazpi, sa Bicol, specifically.
The land of Mayon.
Mga Oragons. So, yeah, I was in a Catholic school. I was grown and I was sent by my mom na paaralin sa Catholic school. And my mom was like working abroad. So,
nagtrabaho siya abroad then. Where and as what?
In Saudi po, as a medical clerk. So, yun po, every 3 years lang siya umuwi. So,
sino nag-aalaga sa'yo noon?
Iniwan po ako ng nanay ko sa kapatid niya, sa tita ko. And that was, yung naging second mom ko. And then yung tito ko din as my own father. And doon po ako lumaki. And napalaki po ako ng maayos din, ng may takot sa Diyos, may pagmamahal sa pamilya. But as I've said that, pero lumalayo po ang loob ko sa biological mother ko dahil isang OFW. But nandun pa rin yung pag-iintindi kung bakit ako niya iniwan dahil for my future. And nung nag-aaral po ako, I was longing for an attention. So, ang naisip ko is, maging magaling sa eskwelahan. At ginawa ko po yun. I was achiever po.
Yeah, I can see from your resume. You love studying.
Yes, I love studying.
You said nag-masteral ka.
Yes.
Talagang inano mo. Yeah. Ang ganda rin ng naging direction ng mind mo na longing for a mother's love and trying to understand for a young mind.
Yes, correct.
That's not, very easy to comprehend, but you put your efforts into studying. I'll make myself better.
Yes po. And not just a mother, but a father as well.
Oo nga pala.
Iniwan po kami ng tatay ko. I was a 6 months old baby nung iniwan po ako ng nanay ko sa tita ko.
And you never saw your father?
Nung namatay po yung tito ko, doon po ko na-realize na nasaan yung tatay ko talaga. There's missing pieces na sa buhay ko.
Siya yung tumatay yung tatay mo, so when he passed.
During those days, I was in college. I was very active in the Philippine Red Cross. And I was part as well ng student government ng school. So, I was the president during that time as the chapter youth council ng Albay chapter, the whole chapter. So meron pong service yung Philippine Red Cross na, restoring family links. So they can find your missing family member through Philippine Red Cross. So sabi ko, nung naghahanap po ako naglilinis po ako ng kwarto, may drawer po doon and uso pa po yung contact details. Alam mo po ba yung yung hinihila pataas?
Rolodex.
Opo, na pag hinila mo, nandoon lahat phone number, contact number, address, and stuff. Nakita ko po doon yung pangalan ng tatay ko and may address. So hindi ko po sinasabi sa tita ko, kung kahit sa family member. Ang ginawa ko po, ibinigay ko doon sa Philippine Red Cross na baka address to ng tatay ko, baka pwede niyong mapuntahan or mahanap. That's December. November. So after few weeks, binalikan po ako ng Philippine Red Cross. And then they find my dad. And
nasaan siya?
Nasa Manila po, nasa Santa Ana. So, during that time, I was really confused, shocked kung anong gagawin ko, kung anong sasabihin ko. I was afraid kung anong sasabihin ng nanay ko, ng tita ko. But luckily, they understand na,
You went to Manila to look for him?
Yes, I did. Nag-decide po ako to spend Christmas to them, sa tatay ko. And
did you give him a heads up or did you just show up at his doorstep?
No, actually, nagpadala sila ng picture. Yung nung tatay ko sa Philippine Red Cross sa Legazpi. But ako, hindi niya pa ako nakikita. So, when I decided to meet him, sa bus station kami magkikita. But kilala ko po siya. Then, nung pagbaba ko na sa bus, alam kong yung itsura niya, pero ako hindi. And nung pagbaba ko, nakita ko siya nakaupo. Nung nilapitan ko siya, sabi ko, Daddy, tumingin lang siya. Natulala siya. And it's a very memorable moment for me. Dahil naalala ko pa nga nun wala talaga siyang pera. Even pang taxi, sabi niya, tara anak, sabi niya, magsasakay tayo ng jeep kasi 20 pesos lang ang dala ko. Sabi ko, hindi daddy. Magta-taxi po tayo papunta sa inyo. And we did. And na-meet ko po doon yung father side ko. And yeah, it was fulfilling. And at the age of 17, I was able to find my dad. And yeah, somehow I felt complete. And yung longingness ng pagmamahal ng isang tatay din.
Did you keep in touch after that?
Yes, I did. Until now. And
that's good.
Yeah, I know. And yun din yung chine-cherish kong personal accomplishment. Hindi puro grades, achievements na you know what I mean. But
you consider that as one of your big successes, big achievement. Yeah. And that's very important nga. It could easily be ignored, but it will continue to be a weight in your entire life until you're older. At least at 17, you said you did that effort.
I know. It's
also
a brave move, Miss Cherry, at 17.
It is. Pero with what you said, you're being a leader, being involved in community activities and all that. I'm sure that had something to do with the courage.
Yes, correct.
To push through with that.
Yes.
No? Okay, so from the Philippines, and then you said na nga that it was after you did your masteral, you were already working nung na-decide mo magpunta ng Canada?
Opo, kasi nung 17, di ba, seaman pa po ako noon. I was studying marine transportation. Then at 19, I was a scholar cadet. Nakapasa po ako sa isang kumpanya, a German company, which they will sponsor everything from the start. Like pagkatapos mo yung makagraduate, ipapadala ka sa training for 3 months, like a semi-military training camp sa Subic. So I've been there for 3 months to be trained as to become an officer, a scholar cadet. Then after 3 months, October, nag-join po ako as a cadet in Antwerp, Belgium. So I was shocked. Talaga, as 19, you become an OFW. And dun po talaga umano sa akin yung tunay na buhay, yung realidad ng buhay. Mahirap po pala talaga kumita ng pera. Kasi doon ko naranasan na yung sakripisyo ng mga tatay. Nakita ng Filipino seafarers kung gaano nila tinitiis ang lungkot, ang pagod, puyat, dugo at pawis ang talaga ang inaalay nila sa trabaho. even their own life is at risk, to be
Correct.
honest. Yeah.
Correct.
Nakita ko po talaga doon. And doon ko naranasan na napakalamig, humahawak ako ng lubid, nabasa, and napakalamig sa gitna ng dagat. And then you need to, hilain yung lubid pataas pag mag-aalis na yung barko para itaas yung mga lubid sa barko. So,
was this a cargo ship?
yeah, it's a cargo ship. It's a container ship. So,
and to think, ano ka pa niyan, you're 19, you're young.
Totoy pa po ako. Opo. So,
tapos, wala ka pang pamilya, wala ka pang anak, wala ka pang... Kasi until now, our Filipino seafarers by the millions are still doing this, no?
Yes,
despite the heightened tensions in geopolitics all over the world, which is affecting them na papasok na ng mga terorista yung mga barko nila, na hostage na sila. On top of all the challenges that they have to go through as seafarers, malaki ba talaga ang sweldo?
Yes, it is. Malaki po talaga, Miss Chari. Makakaipon ka po talaga dahil sa barko, libre ang tulugan, pagkain. And the only thing that you need to think is to work.
Yun lang ang hirap talaga ng trabaho.
Mahirap po talaga.
Tapos, ang tagal mong hindi kasama yung pamilya mo.
Correct, opo. That time, na-realize ko po, I was just 4 months sa barko, 5 months. And nagkaroon po ako ng mental breakdown because you've been there for quite some time, and it's a floating metal island.
Right.
So sabi ko, oo nga, may pera, pero walang buhay. Bakit hindi ako masaya? So sabi ko, hindi ito ang pinangarap ko na sa buhay. So sabi ko, alam ko na ang nanay, ang mami ay malapit na mag-retire and hindi na niya kaya kong paaralin pa. Pero nilakasan ko po yung loob ko. Sabi ko, kung nakapagtapos ako ng pag-aaral, kaya ko pa ulit magpagtapos kahit ako na lang self-supporting. So nag-decide po akong bumaba. Bumaba ng barko. Wala pong sumalubong sa akin si Naiya. Kasi pati family ko nagulat sa aking desisyon. So, nung bumaba po ako, karga-karga kong 3 maleta. And umuwi po ako ng Bulacan sa cousin ko. And hindi ko din po alam kung paano ko nabuhat yun, na hindi ako nag-taxi, Miss Cherry. Kasi wala akong I want to save my money. Tinitipid ko. Kasi sabi ko, itong desisyon ko, wala papunta ulit sa zero. So, I need to save my money for my next step. Pero nung pagbaba ko, umupo muna ako sa isang tabi sa Naiya. Naiyak po talaga ako.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And pumunta po ako sa TAF. Doon po ako sumakay papuntang Bulacan. Then, nakistay ako sa pinsan ko sa San Jose. And alam niyo po ba, nag-try po ako mag-apply sa call center. Hindi po ako natatanggap. Hindi po ako natatanggap. So,
bakit?
I really don't know.
Maybe it wasn't for you also.
Siguro po. So, alam niyo po kung saan po ako napunta?
Saan ka napunta after?
Sa fast food.
Okay.
Nagmang-inasal po ako.
Okay.
I was working there for 3 months. Pero,
but your mindset at this point in time
to support myself.
And to still pursue the master.
No,
tapos ka na ba hindi ka ba nagma-masteral
nito? To take customs administration. Kasi sabi ko, ang pinakamalapit sa marine transportation is logistics, which is customs. So, sabi ko, kasi ayaw ko na. Gusto ko na maging land base ayaw ko na maging sea base. So, kinuha ko po yung customs. Yeah,
buti nga mabilis ang decision mo Kasi you could have stayed there for years.
Yes,
and then later on you decide, this isn't for me. It took you 4 months to know this is not for me.
So, siguro may calling talaga or maybe para talaga may, binigyan talaga ako ng Diyos na sabihin, you need to move. And mag-decide ka na ngayon. So, yun po.
So after Mang Inasal?
Babang-baba po ako noon sa Mang Inasal. I mean, doon ko po naranasan na sisigawan ka. Hindi mo lang nasilbahan ng kanin.
Ng customer?
Opo, nandoon. Yung tipong kala nila na wala akong pinag-aralan. But I was just there just to survive.
Shame on our kababayans who did this. But may mga ganyan naman talaga. Minsan paminsan.
Opo,
Oo.
doon po ako naging mas humble, natutong makisama sa iba't ibang klase ng tao.
Okay.
Then from there, naawa po yung nanay ko. Then sabi niya, umuwi ka na ng Bicol. Asikasuhin mo na yung papeles mo sa eskwelahan at mag-aral ka na. Ginawa ko po. Alam niyo po yung 4-year course na Customs Administration. Ginawa ko siyang 2 years. Yes.
You sped through it.
Nag-summer classes po ako. I even writing sa registrars.
Gusto mo talagang madaliin?
Madaliin. Dahil yung nanay ko po is pa-retire na. Kung mag-retire na siya sa Saudi, wala na po sa akin magsusuporta. So sabi ko, Mommy, I will do this. For us, for you as well. I help you. And sabi ko sa kanya, gagawin ko ang lahat para makapagtapos. So, nagawa ko naman po. In a year after, like 3 years, nag-review po ako, bumalik po ako ng Manila. Nag-review po ako sa board exam, which is 6 months. It takes me 6 months to take kasi ang customs po is a combination of accountancy and law, customs laws. So, medyo mahirap po talaga siya. So, yun, awan ng Diyos po na nakapasa po agad ako sa licensure examination as customs broker. Then, yun, nag-start na din po doon. After 1 month, I was able to find a job.
Nagtrabaho ka na sa Bureau of Customs na agad?
No, sa private po, sa Intramuros.
Nandiyan
doon na po nagbukas yung opportunity ko din, exposure, what will be my next step. Nasa isip ko po noon talaga. Kaya po ako umuwi ulit ng Bicol after noon is gusto ko po kasi talaga mag-master's degree agad-agad. Kasi sa Pilipinas, alam mo naman po ang mga Pilipino, di ba? Like, yung standard nila napakataas. So, if you have your master's, at least, you know,
mas mataas ang tingin sa'yo, mas maraming opportunity para sa'yo.
Yes.
So, ilang buwan ka lang sa Manila? And then you went...
Umabot din po ako ng 9 months.
Okay.
9 months, and nung nag-decide po ako na mag-aral ulit, ang kala ko lang po is, yung state universities. Kasi scholar ng bayan, mababa ang tuition fee. So, umuwi po ako, tinulungan po ako ng kaibigan ko na makahanap ng work sa Bicol as a government employee na contractual. Like, yeah. So, doon po, 10,000 lang yung sahod ko noon.
This was already
2018, yeah.
Ang liit ng sweldo na yun at 2019 standards.
Opo, Miss Cherry.
Okay.
And during that time, may plano na po akong pumunta ng Canada. Tinitipid ko po sarili ko. Itlog, kanin. Binabaon ko po yan. Para lang, kasi ang iniisip ko, dolyar versus Philippine peso. Kasi nag-iipon po ako ng pocket money ko papuntang Canada. So, yun po. Pero dumating din po sa point na dahil po na-hire po ako ng permanent sa Bureau of Customs, 5 months na lang po.
5 months na lang, paalis ka na?
Oo. Pero kinuha ko pa rin po. Kinuha ko pa rin siya. Kasi sabi ko, baka magbago ang isip ko.
Oo.
Actually po, munti ka nang hindi matuloy.
Yung Canada?
Opo, kasi sabi ko, nasa bureau na ako. May masters na ako.
Nandun ka based sa Bicol or based dito sa Maine?
Okay,
Sabi
ko, may masters na po ako. And sabi ko, okay na to. Pwede na. Sabi ko, pwede ko na din po ito i-pursue to become a lawyer, right? While nasa bureau.
Oo.
Pero, nagdasal po ako. Sabi ko, bigyan mo po ako ng sign. Lord, sabi ko. And that time, yung boss ko, gusto din pumunta ng Canada. Sabi ko,
ito ba yung sagot ko?
Oo, ito ba yung sagot ko? Sabi ko, ito ilang years na sa bureau. Bakit na siya? Administrative officer na siya. Ikaw na ang head ng isang department. Why you still want to pursue more and to leave government service?
Did you ask him that? Or
opo.
Ano sabi niya?
Po siya, dahil, yung sistema natin sa Pilipinas, and at the same time, hindi pa rin talaga sapat. Even you are nandoon ka na sa supervisor and manager position.
Yun yung nakakalungkot sa sistema natin sa Pilipinas. Dapat yan pag nasa gobyerno ka and you have all these credentials, by that time you already had a masteral degree. Hindi ba? Dapat, and especially for your boss at that time, that should have been enough. That should have been yung talagang
competitive yung salary din po.
Opo. To make you stay in the government because we need good people. All the countries in the world, they need the best people to work in the government. So you have to compete with private. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why you decided
yes po,
to
na
still
i-pursue
pursue
talaga.
Canada.
Opo.
Kasi parang hindi pa rin talaga magiging sapat.
Opo, at saka sabi ko, I was young that time. I was 25, 24. Yeah, nung nagde-decide ako.
Makulay na yung buhay mo at 24, no? Okay.
Sabi ko, I have this, choices. Sabi ko, yung iba nga po, 35, pumapasok pa lang sa gobyerno. So sabi ko, I still have a decade, to, if I decided to go back, I can still do it. And sabi ko, nag-invest ako sa sarili ko as, kumuha nga po ako ng master. So sabi ko, if I come back, for sure, there's always a job. Opo. Kasi sabi ko nga, is ang pinaka magandang investment is ang pag-aaral sa sarili po. So wala po talagang makakakuha at makakanakaw ng
tama,
yun, opo.
So, you went to Canada, you pursued that, and you went here as an international student. Okay, let's pick it up from there. Pagdating ng Canada, ano naman yun?
Ay, sobrang hirap po, Miss Cherry. Grabe. Weather-wise, culture, ay grabe, trabaho. My God, from the scratch po, Miss Cherry. I've started as a warehouse helper. Miss Cherry, sa buong buhay ko sa Pilipinas. Ay, no. Nung sa barko, nagbubuhat din po ako ng mabibigat. Pero dito po talaga nasabak po ako.
Dito yung pinakamabigat na nabuhat mo sa buong buhay ko. Literally.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's yung first job ko po is nag-i-strip po ako ng container ng mga lamesa. Grabe. And I was just earning...
so it's a very physical job.
Opo. $17 an hour.
Oh my gosh.
And sabi ko, sige. Wala na tong atrasan para lang meron laman.
Habang nag-aaral ka ba nito?
Opo, Miss Cherry. Ang nangyayari noon, 7 o'clock, mag-aaral po ako online until 2. And babiyahe po ako pupuntang work. Mag-start ako ng 3 hanggang 7. 5 hours lang, Miss Cherry. Kasi part-time lang. Yeah. So, tiniis ko po yun. And doon ko din po nakilala, may mga kapwa tayong Pilipino, yun. Naging even basurero din po ako doon, tagalinis ng warehouse. Kinukuha ko po yung mga
additional
karton.
job yun?
Hindi po. Pinsan pag wala pang container, papalilinisin ka. Yeah.
Okay.
Or kakamada ka sa skid, itatali mo, i-secure mo para hindi gumalaw yung mga orders and stuff, so shipping. So, ganun po. Nag-start po ako.
Your program is 1 year? Was 1 year
2 years
or 2 years? 2 years program.
2 years program.
Okay. And then, did things get better after you finished the 2-year program?
Yes. Yes po. Nung after ng warehouse, pumunta pa ako sa chocolate. Then napunta din po ako sa hospitality. Sa hotels. Then doon po naging okay yung sitwasyon ko kasi mas mataas yung rate. May mga tips from clients. Tayo mga Pilipino, napakabait natin and very accommodating. Hospitality natin iba. Nagugustuhan nila. So, kung anong gusto, bigay, sige. So, sa downtown po ako noon, napasok po ako sa luxury hotel. Siguro God's willing po talaga, itinulungan po ako na mairaos. And yun po yung naging bread and butter ko para makapagtapos at pabayaran din yung fees sa school. Kasi wala po akong pambayad, to be honest, Miss Cherry, yung whole tuition fee.
Tuition.
Ang meron lang po ako noon is 1 sem. Yung 3 sem, dito ko na po bununo. Yung tipid. I still remember, Miss Cherry, I was like, say, even $1. Kasi hindi ko po afford mag-go bus. So, nagtatrabaho po ako ng downtown, sa Brampton po ako nakastay. Alam mo po, Miss Cherry, kinukuha ko yung Zoom bus going to Vaughan, then Vaughan going to downtown. It's just $3. Pero napakahaba po ng biyahe. Mas mura.
But that's how many minutes longer?
More than minutes. An hour. Kasi
kesa
more.
Kung nag-GO.
Yeah,
magkano ba ang GO train?
Ang GO train, $13.
$3 versus $13.
Yes. Dahil lang doon, tinitipid ko po yun. And nagbunga. Nagbunga yung magtitipid na yun. And nabayaran ko yung tuition fees ko. And napunaan ko din
international fees
yung
kasi,
mga,
di ba?
yung mga pangangailangan ko din. So, yun po, nung pagka-graduate ko, bago po pala ako mag-graduate, nakuha ko din yung asawa ko. I mean, yung girlfriend ko.
You were telling me at one point, you were feeling very alone.
Yes, correct, Miss Cherry.
And you asked your girlfriend in the Philippines to join you here. Tell us about that.
Oh, yun po. Actually, that time, hindi pa po talaga kami ready na magpapakasal. But because, napakahigpit po ng immigration rules and stuff, sabi ko sa kanya, kasal na tayo. Sabi ko, punta ka na dito. Sabi ko, let's see what opportunity you have here in Canada. Sabi ko sa kanya. Nag-iiyakan kami, Miss Cherry. Kasi we know to ourselves na hindi pa kami ready that time. Marami pa kaming pangarap. Marami pa kaming gustong ibigay sa kanya-kanyang pamilya namin. So, nag-end up pa rin na, sabi niya, sige, let's give it a try. Okay, sige, pupunta ako dyan. So, pumunta po siya dito. Pinakasalan ko siya. Then, in-sponsor ko po siya as work permit. And awa ng Diyos, nakakuha agad siya. Within a month, nung work permit, nakakuha po siya ng trabaho.
Because she's in the healthcare industry.
Yes, correct po. Nasa healthcare industry po siya. So, yun, nagtulungan kami. Naging maayos, naging smooth, naging okay yung journey namin. Meron din na may mga pagsubok hindi mawawala. Nag-start din siya from the scratch, and I was very proud of her na nalagpasan niya yun. And
kailan siya dumating?
2023.
2022.
Yeah, end of 2022, November. Kasi kinasal po kami December. a month after nung pagdating niya. Yeah. So, yun po.
So now she's a practicing nurse.
Yes, that's why we're moving to Yukon.
Yun. Ang gusto pang chapter na exciting. So that's what's in front of you right now.
Opo.
You're moving to Yukon. Ano yung opportunity doon? Bakit naging decision yung mag-move?
Opo. Kasi actually yung asawa ko is may opportunity po sa Ontario. It's just that, part-times and, meron din po sa Northern Ontario pero lesser yung pay. Tsaka, hindi nagsusupport for PR application.
Okay.
So, what we did is, ako po, sinuportahan ko din yung asawa ko. Nag-apply kami outside Ontario. So, nag-apply kami ng Nova Scotia. And I was looking a job there too. Alberta as well. Pero, ang Yukon po talaga ang nagbukas ng pinto para sa amin na mag-asawa. And I was so grateful because yung employer ko din po pinayagan akong mag-work remote, fully remote. Because I was just doing hybrid. And sabi ko, yung asawa ko natanggap po bilang nurse sa Yukon, will you allow me to work remotely? And I was just new in the company. And sabi nila, there's no problem with that. You're doing good. You're always on the top of your work. And I was very thankful. Ito yung blessings na, yung lahat ng pinaghirapan, may mga tao pa lang, kahit hindi mo ka ano-ano, willing sumuport sa'yo. And yeah, even my wife, employer, they were there. Every second, every paper, lahat ng kailangan.
For the Yukon application.
Yes,
Oh, that's
ibinigay
good.
nila. Yes, opo. Even
Kumbaga nasuklian yung binigay niyong dedikasyon doon sa trabaho ninyo, yung
Opo.
quality na ginagawa
Opo.
ninyo.
And even po yung asawa ko is very supportive yung employer kasi hindi lahat kasi nabibigyan ng oportunidad na ganun na hihingi ka ng mga references and stuff,
And I think
paperwork.
iiwanan mo na sila eh.
Yes, opo.
Pero suportado pa rin
suportado
nila
pa rin.
ikaw.
Even my employer, they want to na wag na akong umalis kasi alam nila kung gaano kahirap mag-move ng province. They even tried na gawing ONIP ako ako yung mag-apply na as a PR. Pero mahirap po talaga. I mean, yung competition dito, like for being a permanent resident in Ontario is very difficult, and yung marami na din po kasing population. So, yun po, we decided to move, and ngayon nga po yung last day namin dito sa Ontario, and na-realize namin na marami din po pala kaming na-touch na mga tao at natulungan even in a small way. And yun po yung mahirap kasi, like, na-build mo na yung community mo dito and you're moving to another place, going from scratch, and you don't know somebody. But I think together with my wife, we can do it and we can surpass everything.
I'm pretty sure you will. I'm confident about that as well.
Thank you po.
Like if I talk to you months from now, I'm sure you're gonna thrive. Knowing how resilient you are and how determined you are
Yes po.
to succeed. What are you going to miss the most here in Ontario?
The friends. Kasi po ako very
I can see that,
yeah,
oo.
palaki-ibigan ako. Friends.
Mga dito mo na lang nakilala
Yes,
yung mga yan,
opo,
diba?
Miss Cherry, like friends that become family. Na kala mo, ayaw mo nang bumitaw talaga, na kasangga mo through thick and thin. They were there. And yeah,
Are they
meron.
all Filipinos also? Hindi
Yeah,
lahat?
meron din na
Okay.
ibang lahi na they were there willing to help, May mga Pakistani, may mga Arab. Naging akong kaibigan. So, malungkot pero kailangan natin gawin para sa kinabukasan at sa better din na future.
Ano yung mga thoughts mo ngayon sa Yukon?
Thoughts ko sa Yukon, it's gonna be isolated. Yeah. Because sabi nga nila, there's more animals than humans in Northern Territory. So, yeah, alam kong you're gonna be isolated. You're gonna feel depressed a little bit, but hopefully this time, kasi naranasan ko na sa barko eh. So, this time I know now how to handle it. And I hope I can malagpasan ko ito. Kasi this is just, short period of time.
At saka magkasama na kayo.
Opo, may kasama ako.
Strengthen talaga yung relationship
Yes,
niyo
correct.
doon. No? So yung offer sa kanya doon, PR, a straight path to PR na ba yan?
Actually, yes po, Miss Cherry. Like, they were saying na willing to support as a Yukon nominee program. So, ngayon po, yung employer niya is nagbigay na ng expression of interest sa government ng Yukon. So, ngayon, we're waiting for that response na mabunot siya. Kasi nasa healthcare naman po siya.
Oo.
So,
It's almost a shoe-in because, nagbigay na yung provincial government eh. Diba?
So, government to government na nag-uusap. So, we're still looking. We're hoping for the best na sana sooner na mabunot na siya, and then from nabunot na, we can pass now our requirements and paperworks.
Malapit na yan. Advance congratulations. I can see that coming already. But of course, as you said, it's gonna come with a new territory once again.
Yes po.
Diba? Marami ka nang pinagdaanan na ganun sa buhay mo, sa barko, moving from different jobs, very uncomfortable jobs that you that you did, no? Even moving here to Canada, na biglang may winter, na
Opo.
biglang may nakakalungkot na mga and challenges that were very difficult. And then Yukon is the next step. And hopefully that gives you na nga your PR dream.
Opo.
What would be the ideal thing for you to happen here in Canada in the next few years?
Next few years? Yeah. Actually, gusto ko talaga i-pursue ang pagiging lawyer or even just a paralegal dito sa Canada.
Lawyer.
Yeah.
It's a lawyer. Okay.
Opo. So, yun, hopefully, I'm still looking for, for me to do that. Sa dapat maging, maging supervisor or even a manager for me to finance myself sa
Kasi dito
study.
merong mga employers who will support you even through your law studies, I assume.
Opo.
May mga ganun eh. Halimbawa, paralegal ka tapos they
Opo.
will subsidize. Maybe not full, but
Opo,
maybe some might
yeah.
offer full.
Meron din
Diba?
po. Yeah.
As long as you
stay return
in the
of
company
service. Opo.
for a
Opo.
few years. So I guess the decision is you really have to like the company siguro dahil matatali ka doon.
Opo, dapat you feel at home na, na close-knit talaga yung environment, masaya ka sa ginagawa mo for you before, na makipag-lock in ka sa ganang mga sitwasyon.
How's your mom now? Has she retired?
Oh, yes, she is. Actually, nadala ko na po yung nanay ko dito. Like, she
okay.
stayed here for a year. Kasi sabi ko,
Nice.
yeah, in a preparation po na if ever kami ng asawa ko magka-baby, my mom will here to support us and to assist us while we're pursuing our dreams and our career goals. While we're doing that, nandito po yung nanay ko.
How does she like Canada?
Oh, nag-enjoy po siya.
I guess hindi siya winter nag-visit.
Hindi po siya. Actually, for a year, naranasan niya
Oo
na
nga
the whole
Isang taon
season.
siya.
Yeah.
Oo.
So, naikot ko po siya, Miss Cherry. Sabi ko nga sa kanya, napakaswerte mo, mami, kasi yung iba dito, been 20 years citizen na, but they didn't even nakapunta doon sa mga napuntahan mo. Yeah, because I was, may part-time din po kasi ako, Miss Cherry, 2 jobs. I'm working 2 jobs. Bukod po sa pagiging office work as a customs documentation specialist, I was a housekeeping din po sa hotel. Kasi
Okay.
yun yung naging bread and butter ko.
Oo.
Hindi ko na po siya maiwan, Miss Cherry. Na in love na ako sa trabaho and at the same time may mga perks.
Oo.
So, nakukuha ko pong mababang rates.
Pag sa
Yes,
iba't ibang.
opo.
Is it a chain?
Whole worldwide.
Wow.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
yun, napunta ko po sa mga luxury yung nanay kong hotels and nag-enjoy siya and naikot
That's
ko po siya
one
sa
check in your bucket list.
I know,
That's
Miss
one of
Cherry.
the things that you really want to do.
Even hindi ko naranasan nung bata pa ako na maipasyal ng nanay ko sa mga arcades, even aquarium.
Oo.
Nung nakita ko yung nanay ko na nag-enjoy siya at na-amaze siya sa mga nakita niya na di din niya na naranasan. It was very fulfilling. Doon pa
Worth
lang, worth it na yung pagpunta ko dito ng Canada.
So ikaw ang nagdala sa kanya sa mga aquarium,
Yes.
ikaw ang nagdala sa kanya.
Sorry, Miss Cherry.
No.
Kasi dapat ako yung idadala, di ba? Pero ako yung
Yeah.
nagparanas.
It's that deep level of understanding
Yeah.
kung dun sa sacrifices din niya.
Sobra.
Ang hirap din yan for you, I'm sure, because you're caught in between the emotions on whether you want to...
Sorry, Miss Cherry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Dapat nga may tissue tayo dito. No, I can imagine the dilemma. And you're allowed to... Ako kasi ganyan pag merong pinagdadaanan na ganyan. Minsan, inaano ko muna yung emotion ko. Kasi kahit gusto mong magalit, alam mong hindi ka dapat magalit.
Yeah.
Pero you allow yourself first to get mad. Sige, allow mo muna. Pero after nun, intindihan, just to give justice to that feeling.
Opo.
Kasi you do have a right to feel these things. But then your mind and your heart takes over and says, Hindi, alam ko naman na pinaghihirap yung,
Opo.
why she did all
And
these
I
things.
know
So,
the reason behind kung bakit niya ako iniwan. Dahil para din sa akin yun. And sabi ko nga sa realization ko, sabi ko, Mami, hindi ko naman hinangad na paaralin mo ako sa magandang paaralan. Even sa public school, I'm okay. Dahil doon, mararanasan mong magsumikap talaga. At para iangat ng pamilya mo sa kahirapan. So, pero mas pinili niya yung path na yon na mas maibigay niya na para na sa akin yung hindi naman gaano karangya pero kahit papaano yung needs ko naibibigay. And I'm thankful for that for my mom.
Yeah, she was here for a year. Saan mo siya inikot?
Naikot ko po siya ng Muskoka. Ikot ko po siya ng Toronto, downtown, Niagara. We've even stayed for Niagara sa Muskoka, sa JW Marriott. We've even stayed there too. Even downtown. Umakyat po siya ng CN Tower. Sa Center Island. Yeah. Even sa mga friends ko, houses, gustong-gusto niya kasi pag pumupunta kami sa friends ko, puro kainan. Yeah.
Speaking of kainan, may namimiss ka ba sa Philippines? Dishes?
Yes.
What do you miss about the Philippines?
Gusto ko po talaga lumi or yung mga tusok-tusok, isaw, yun.
Yung mga street food na ganyan,
yeah.
Oo, masaya yan.
Yeah, no.
Hindi mo makita dito?
Meron din naman, pero
hindi pareho, no?
Hindi pareho, opo. Tsaka, minsan lang sa mga festival na meron yung, yung mga ganun lang na nakikita ko. So, sometimes we tried, but dito kasi sa Canada, napaka-busy ng buhay. Sometimes you cannot just go there and eat, right? Lalo na po ako,
It sounds simple, but when are you gonna find the time to do that? What do you love about Canada? Are the things that you like about this country?
Actually, kala ko nga po, sabi ko pagdating ko sa Canada, kala ko equal lahat. Pero nandito din pala meron din palang, they will take an opportunity sa'yo, to take advantage. Kala ko madali magsumbong, madali mag-report sa police, they will action on it. But it was not. There's like always imperfections. But what I like the most here is kung anong nabibili ng mahirap, kung anong nabibili ng mayaman, nabibili din ng mahirap. So, as long as you're working hard and, hindi ka nagiging tamad, you can buy the things that you want for you and for your family. So, yun po. Kasi dito kahit hindi ka, high school graduate ka, there's a work na pwede kang pasukan. Where in fact, in the Philippines, if you're not a college graduate, kahit sales lady or, hindi ka kahera, hindi ka i-hire. So, yun po yung nagustuhan ko dito sa Canada. And most especially if you have, may bala ka, you have these passports, like diplomas, nag-aral ka dito, then make it the most out of it. You join the competition as a professional. Then and sabi ko nung kala ko nga dati hindi ako ma-hire as a customs in the field of customs. Kala ko hindi po talaga. Sabi ko may mas magagaling na puti, mas magagaling mag-English, mas magagaling, Pero when I was given an offer, I was really shocked. I was really happy na kaya din pala ng Pilipino makipagsabayan. So, yes. And sabi nga nung boss ko, nung director ko na Rico, just continue what you're doing and malayo ang mararating mo. Kasi mahirap po ang customs pa, bago-bago ang regulations, like with this, what happening with the trade war.
Right.
Yeah, right? Every month, nagbabago, ganito, takutan, and yung mga importers, yung businessmen, atras abante with their imports and exports. So, yeah.
What are the differences that you see here in the customs industry here, tsaka yung customs sa Pilipinas?
Here is very, dito, very high-tech. online,
they really use
online
technology, which we should
correct.
also in the Philippines.
And isinisubmit na dito through portal. So kahit kaya po ako pinayagan mag-work remotely dahil even at home you can do clearing shipments. So mabilis, in just 15 minutes it will reflected cleared in CBSA.
Ganun naman talaga dapat no?
Opo.
Especially for the customs and logistics industry.
Correct,
no?
correct.
So good because that allows you to work fully remotely.
Yes,
Imagine,
opo.
ang layo mo from
I know.
the head office. No?
Opo.
Pero are you planning to start your own family soon?
Yes po. Actually nga po, sabi ko sa asawa ko, dahil sa, I'm working 7 days a week here. So, siya din, busy, pagod. So there, sabi ko, your career was already started. You have a good salary. And me, I have my career as well. So, this is the time for us. It's a big, God's willing talaga na to focus on ourselves. Na, more
Baka
memories
pwede
together,
lang
time, yes, correct. And more time together. And, enjoy natin ang ating both of us, as a married couple.
That's good to know. In
I
the whole
know.
interview, ngayon ko narinig sa'yo na meron ka rin kasama sa plano yung mag-enjoy din.
Opo.
Because in life, di ba?
Yes.
You go through so many things. Did you enjoy your journey? I mean, it was a difficult
Yes.
journey, but all throughout.
Actually, I'm very grateful for the struggles, Miss Cherry. I'm grateful for the growth, and I'm very grateful for the opportunities ahead. Siguro minsan may mga, sa mga Pilipino na mga crab mentality likas sa mga Pilipino yon. But I've realized na hindi natin kailangan ng ganong perspective. Because kailangan natin tulungan. Kung naranasan mo na, ba't mo pa ipaparana sa ibang kapwa nating Pilipino? So, I've been a catalyst na gusto kong ganon. And I've been doing that with our kababayans in even a small way. Small things. Me and my wife. So, we always do that. Mga daumpang palag lang namin sila sa isang event or what. May nasabi sila sa amin, anong kailangan mo? Anong paraan para matulungan ka namin? Even nung nakuha ko ng car, even ibang lahi, nakita kong winter storm, nakita ko sa bus stop, nanginginig sa lamig. I asked them to come. Where you going? And I dropped them kung saan man sila papunta. Kasi I've experienced that. Nagdala ko ng kumot sa bus stop. Miss Cherry. Sa sobrang lamig. And I know the feeling ng hirap. So, in a way, dapat tayong mga Pilipino is magtulungan talaga. Iwasan natin yung crab mentality. Dahil tayo lang din naman ang magtutulungan.
Ang na-notice ko sa crab mentality, how real it is outside of the Philippines. You really feel it. You see it.
Yes.
I'm surprised. I've spoken to a few Filipinos who went through difficulties, and pag may bago, ang sinasabi nila dun sa bago is, yung mindset nila is, kailangan mahirapan ka rin.
Yes, dapat pagdaanan mo kung anong pinagdaanan
mo rin.
Yes.
Kung ano yung pinagdaanan ko. Maraming ganong mindset dito sa Canada, and I don't get it personally.
Yes.
Because we're there in a position to help them maybe get through that struggle already.
Opo.
May sari-sariling struggle naman ng mga tao.
Opo.
Kung gusto mo lang maghirap ng tao to, I'm sure meron na siyang paghihirap. Hindi mo na kailangan dagdagan yung paghihirap niya. Because you don't know what he's going through. You don't know what he went through.
Yes.
He might have gone through so much more hardships than you have.
Yes.
But anyway, it doesn't matter because your life is different from his life.
Yes, correct.
We all go through our own different journey on our own, diba? So, I really don't get it, and I hope Filipinos will stop thinking that way na naghirap ako, papahirapan din kita. Or kailangan mo munang pagdaanan yun bago kita tulungan or when you can already extend that help
Correct.
right there and then. Minsan hindi tayo aware. That's why I also correct myself na minsan pag mas magaling sa atin,
Opo.
dun na tayo, malakas tayo tumulong. We're very willing to help
Yes.
people who are beneath us.
Yes.
Pero pag minsan ka-level na natin
Opo.
or mas mataas na sa atin, minsan gusto natin ibaba.
Opo. And
So,
lalo
dun
na
yung-
nakikita nilang may potential, hihilain ka pababa.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. So it's a good thing to put that in the in the spotlight a little bit in this portion of our interview
Opo.
para lang maintindihan din or malaman, maging aware din tayo.
Opo.
Even you and me, 'di ba?
Yes,
As we
opo.
go through our journey together. What do you do for fun?
Oh, for fun, I love to travel, Miss Cherry, to be honest. Yeah. That's why recently lang with my friends, even napuntahan na namin,
Mm-mm.
I bring them to those places kasi alam kong maganda at gusto ko din ma-experience nila.
Mm-mm.
Hindi po ako yung kung anong saya nung naramdaman ko dati. I
Oo.
want to share
You
it
wanna
with
share
them.
it, no?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So, alam ko may pinagdadaanan din sila. And through that, kahit papaano na-lessen yung bigat din ng pinagdadaanan at mga struggles nila.
Mhm.
So, yeah, before nga kami umalis, we've traveled to Muskoka again.
Mm-mm.
And it's been a lovely and sweet road trip with my friends. And
Ito, what don't people, even your closest friend probably doesn't know about you?
maawain talaga ako and very vulnerable with regards to commonalities ng pinagdaanan ko. And at siguro sa tingin nila ako suplado, pero hindi naman talaga. Siguro kasi sometimes sa sobrang busy, no, Miss Cherry, hindi na natin napapansin or even a message, right? Kasi pagod na pagod ka na for your shift and stuff. So, yun po. Even our co-international students, like even pag-a-apply ng postgraduate work permit, we try to help. Ano ba yung ginawa namin on our side, yung experience namin. We actually share what we can share na kahit konti or kotiting, mai-guide namin sila.
So I wish you and Sen, your wife, all the beautiful adventures, beautiful
po.
memories in your life
Thank you po,
in
Miss
Yukon.
Cherry.
It will have its own challenges, but what I noticed about Rico is the gratitude has always been there despite all the struggles. And in fact, you just said you're grateful for the struggles even. So
Yes.
keeping that that spirit of gratitude is really something that will power you through all the hardships that come your way,
Yes po.
diba? So any other thing before I let you go?
Sa kapwa nating mga Filipino and international student, just keep pushing, strive hard, be resilient, be patient, and may magandang bukas na darating. Kapit lang.
Thank you so much, Rico,
Thank you din po, Miss Cherry.
for the
It's
time
my
and
pleasure.
good luck in Yukon.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see you again, maybe pagbalik mo
Opo,
sa Ontario,
sure.
pag-visit mo. But we want to know, I personally want to know your adventures
In
there. I
Yukon,
want to
yeah.
know more about the place. And that ends our episode for today. We will see you again next week.
Thank you.